Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today I wanted to sit down and film my newborn essentials. I am a mother of two boys. My eldest son is about 2.5 years old and my little tiny baby son is reaching the 3-month mark, at least nearing it. And so that is technically what I consider the newborn phase, and I feel like I've curated a pretty good list of things that I see as essentials. I've got a couple of niceties in here, but for the most part, I think these are like, you really need to think about investing into some version of these products when you are about to have a baby. So I find these videos incredibly helpful. So I wanted to sit down and film mine and hopefully help some people out if you're struggling to figure out what are the best of the best, most efficient products for you in the newborn phase. So I have divided these items into different categories, and the first one we're going to start with is diapering. No matter what baby you are gonna have, you are going to need to figure out how to keep their pee and their poo maintained. With both of my kids, I have used Pampers Swaddlers. I love that they are incredibly soft and keep everything in. I find that for the body type my husband and I reproduce, we make really skinny, long, lean babies, and Swaddlers have done the best. We did try out a couple of other brands in the beginning with Ezra and found that these are really good for babies that are long and lean. For wipes, we have always used water wipes. I don't feel super particular or like one brand is necessarily way better than others with wipes, but water wipes we have used for our kids because both my husband and I have dealt with eczema and we know we have pretty sensitive skin. Ezra, our 2-year-old, has had a lot of reactions to different products on his skin, but he never has to water wipes. So that is why we go with these. And they are 99.9% water and a drop of fruit extract. So we have found them to be very gentle and they're a lot more moist than other wipes we've used. Some would say these are like too moist at times, but I find for really like crumbly or really messy poos, they work very well. Sticking with diapering and diaper changes, I have found these Munchkin changing mats to be highly useful. But I find that these are very useful when you don't want to lay your baby down on someone's floor or on one of those fold down changing tables directly. These are a really good option. They get really small. You can throw them in a diaper bag. They are pretty inexpensive. I think a pack of 3 of these cost $10. I will link everything that I'm talking about down below in case you guys are interested in looking into things with further detail, but I think some kind of changing mat is necessary, and I definitely prefer this kind of one. One of my all-time needed essentials with boys are cloth diapers. These are the Gerber brand. They are well used and well loved in this household. If you're a mother of boys, you know in those first couple of months, or maybe you don't know if this is your first time, they're gonna pee a lot when you're changing them. They're gonna pee on you, they're gonna pee everywhere. And so cloth diapers are the way that I choose to contain the pee. I basically lay it across their tummy right here, and when I pick up their legs, their private area just kind of goes straight into this. And so when they pee, this absorbs it and I can just throw this directly in the washer. I have about 15 of these. So every few days in the first month, I was going through probably 5 of these a day. And they're incredibly useful and keep that mess contained and you don't get peed on as much. The next category of essentials that I have is feeding essentials. Now, this is an area where essentials are going to vary quite a lot from person to person because some people are probably going to be exclusively breastfeeding, some are going to be exclusively bottle feeding, some might be doing a combination of both. For me, I had started out breastfeeding, then I switched to exclusively pumping, and then we were supplementing with some formula, and now we're finally transitioning to almost exclusively bottle feeding formula. So we've gone through like quite the journey. My favorite bottles are the Komotomo bottles. We started off with these ones because we thought this would be as close to breastfeeding as possible. And when I switched to exclusively pumping, we wanted to try and get back on the breast. But what I have found to be the best thing about this bottle is the nipple is actually a very, very, very slow flow nipple. We were using the Avent bottles in the very beginning when I started exclusively pumping, and Jude would choke on it all the time, and then he would like spit up a bunch. So clearly he was getting too much air and too much milk too quickly. And when we switched to these ones with the slow flow nipple, it drastically decreased. He stopped choking, and he's done really well with these. So that is why we have stuck with them, even though I'm not planning on breastfeeding. The next feeding essential is a little bit of a funny one because, well, I'll just show you. It is a bottle brush, but not any bottle brush. I'm talking about the OXO bottle brush. This is like kind of a random brand that I don't know much about, but when I looked into certain baby products on Amazon, this brand kind of always pops up, and this is a much higher quality bottle brush than the Munchkin ones. I used the Munchkin brand bottle brush with Ezra, and I think in the first year of his life I went through about 8 of them because they would get all grimy and icky, where this one I have been using since Jude was born, and it is still going strong. Like you can see, it comes with this little stand, so it stands straight up, and it works very well. The bristles are high quality. It's not starting to rust at all. You got a little button here, and you can screw this off, and you've got a smaller nipple brush for the bottles, and then it just twists back on. Pop it in the stand, set it by the sink. So like I've mentioned, I am bottle feeding my baby for the most part now. He is taking almost exclusively formula. He still gets 2 bottles of breast milk a day, but the rest is formula. And I did a lot of research into the kind of formula that I wanted my baby to have. So we ended up going with the Happy Baby Organics infant formula. This has been really good. It's meant to be very gentle on little tiny babies' tummies, and Jude's just done really well. His digestive system has never gotten like blocked up or clogged or constipated from this, where that's the issue we were having with his other one. His gas is still free flowing through, and I've just found this to have the nicest ingredients and work the best with my son's digestive system. So if you are looking for a good formula, I definitely recommend checking this one out. It's available at Target too, so it's not really hard to find. The next couple things I wanted to mention as far as feeding goes, the first one is my breast pump. I am using the Medela Sonata. It is a very good breast pump. The Sonata definitely seems to be a nicer quality, more intense, heavy duty. So as an exclusive pumper, it's been nice to have a very strong breast pump. On the flip side though, when I was breastfeeding, which didn't happen for very long, but definitely this would still be one of my essentials, is a Haka. This thing is amazing when you're trying to build up your supply, build a freezer supply so you can go out and do stuff in like early days. And it basically just latches on to one of your breasts. You flip this over, squeeze it, and attach it onto the breast that you're not feeding from during that time. And it catches your letdown, it catches a little bit more milk. So when I was feeding my baby in the first week, I was able to like accumulate 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce on the other side and build up a little bit more of a supply. And as someone who would say that they absolutely hate pumping, this was a really easy way to build a supply without having to sit there and be milked. So while I was feeding, I would use this, and it's just very convenient. And if you just want to start little by little building up some extra milk, this is a great way to do it. My last feeding essential is, of course, none other than a Boppy. This is probably the most popular nursing pillow out there. I used it with my first son. I've used it so much with Jude. I find it to be very versatile, but the one thing that I did do differently with my second kid is I invested into a different cover. So this is a nicer cover than I had. This one is from Pottery Barn Kids. It's a very soft gray jersey with like gold stars on it, and on the flip side it's like furry, fuzzy. And because I knew how much a Boppy was going to be out and about and around everything else and hanging out in our living room, I knew that I didn't want to have my like brightly colored wild forest animals themed Boppy out. Again, I wanted to invest in something a little bit more neutral, and I'm definitely happy that I did that. But Boppies are so convenient when you're trying to feed your little tiny newborn. They're so small and so delicate that just something to give your body a little bit more support and something for them to kind of lean on is vital. As far as clothing goes, I pretty much solely dress my newborn babies in pajamas, sleep and plays, baby grows, whatever you call them. And one of my favorite brands for sleep and plays is Lamaze. Here is an example of the designs that they do. This one has trees and bears on it. I just find that they're like pretty neutral but like pretty cute. I will say Lamaze Sleep and Plays run small. So this is a 3-monther and Jude is just getting to 3 months and already pretty well grown out of it. And then the next brand of Sleep and Plays that I really like to get are from the company Next, which I know if you're in the UK or overseas somewhere in Europe that a lot of people purchase baby grows from Next, but being in the US, they're definitely more unique and you don't see every mom and every baby having these baby grows, and the quality is really, really nice. So we have this one from Next, and I ordered them online. This one just says little brother and it has that wrap front. Really cute, really nice. And then we also picked up a 2-pack where it says I love my daddy and I love my mommy, and it has little dinosaurs on it. So this is very cute. I love the quality of Next baby grows, sleep and plays, whatevs. It just is like a very thick, soft material and it lasts really well in the wash. I've washed these so many times. And then the only other clothing essential that I would say is a very gentle laundry detergent. We have been using Tide Free and Gentle with my baby's clothes ever since they were born, and it's just important to me that their clothing is not getting saturated with scents and chemicals and dyes and things that aren't good for them. Again, because my babies seem to have pretty sensitive skin, as do my husband and I. So I would definitely recommend looking into different detergents, and we really like Tide Free and Gentle. Finally, we are to a very important category, and that is sleeping. The first essential for me for sleeping in those first few months is your baby is going to need a bassinet that can sit right next to your bed, so when they wake up in the night, all you have to do is lean over and grab them. We looked at a lot of different bassinet options. We looked at the Snooze Pod, we looked at the Halo bassinet, and ultimately we just realized that we needed something and wanted something very simple but effective. So we purchased the Me Classic bassinet from Amazon. In regard to bassinets, this thing is massive, and it's definitely not the nicest, most comfortable bassinet, but it's extremely practical. So a lot of people have complained that there's like a seam down the middle of it, but we've put a sheet over it, and honestly our newborn son has seemed to not be bothered by it at all. It was a practical purchase and fairly inexpensive, so I would highly recommend it. The next thing is a baby swing, more specifically the Fisher-Price Snug-a-Puppy baby swing. With Ezra, we did have a Fisher-Price swing. It was one that went back and forth like this, where I'm going to insert clips of the Fisher-Price swing because it is phenomenal. Jude still takes the majority of his naps in that swing, except one nap a day. He goes upstairs in his nursery, and then at nighttime he sleeps in the bassinet. But for all of his other naps during the day, we just plop him in the swing and he puts himself to sleep, and it is glorious. He loves it. Even if he's not tired and we just like need a safe place to put him, especially with a 2-year-old, we've taught Ezra the swing is off limits. It is such like a wonderful purchase, especially as I've been exclusively pumping. So when I pump, I'll like put him in the swing and it keeps him occupied and happy. Most of the time he'll fall asleep. I just cannot rave about this product enough. It is amazing. I can't believe we didn't have it with our first kid, but I would say bite the bullet. This is worth the investment, and for us it is definitely an essential, although I understand for many people it may not be, but it's been like a life-changing product, let me tell you. The next couple of things are different versions of swaddles. First one being the Swaddle Me Velcro swaddles. Pretty much you put your baby in here, this opens up, you wrap your baby's arms in, and this is a much more secure version for nighttime sleeping than just using a normal swaddle blanket. And when you're putting your baby down for the night, you want them to be as snug as a bug in a rug. So I like Velcro swaddles for that. But I do not think Velcro swaddles can replace swaddle blankets. These are the Aiden and I classic swaddles. They come in all sorts of different colors, all sorts of different patterns. I think we have about 10 now, and for daytime naps we normally wrap him up in the swaddle blankets, and for nighttime we do the Velcro swaddles. The swaddle blankets are also great for like stroller and car seat blankets. They're great to cover the car seat. These blankets are like so practical. I cannot recommend Aiden and I blankets more. They're incredibly high quality. They last through the washes. They get softer over time. I've yet to have any of them like fall apart. We use them with Ezra, we're using them with Jude, and I just think it's like definitely an essential purchase. I have two more sleeping essentials. The first one is a baby monitor. This was an area that we definitely upgraded with our second child. With Ezra, we just had a very classic VTech sound monitor, but for this kid, we decided to invest into a camera monitor. So this is the Infant Optics camera monitor. We have one monitor part with two cameras. This little base is something that we bought separately that actually attaches onto cribs or bassinets, but I have found this to be such a practical purchase. You can have multiple cameras on one monitor, and so we have Ezra's. So this is Ezra's room, and then you just click a button and it goes to, oh, I was gonna say it goes to camera 2, but I have camera 2 right here. It's just nice to be able to keep an eye on your little baby and be able to check on them and see them and make sure they're okay. So I would definitely recommend, once you have a toddler who likes to move around or potentially is at risk for crawling out of his crib, a camera monitor comes in very handy. So very glad that we got this, but it is a little bit more on the pricey side. And the last sleeping essential that I want to talk to you guys about is the Hatch sound machine. Now, we used the Skip Hop Owl sound machine and Nightlight with Ezra. He loves it. He still loves it. We tried switching his out with a Hatch, and he was not gonna play ball because he loves his owl so much. And the Hatch has so many cool features that are like really techy and really cool, but we bought the Hatch for one reason, and that is because it gets so loud. My brother and sister-in-law had this when we went to Hawaii with them over Christmas, and our kid, who had the owl right next to his bed, would wake up at all hours from little noises here and there, and their like 6-month-old baby girl would sleep through everything because the Hatch sound machine was going so loudly in their room. And we just decided, Jake and I, that when we have another kid, we are gonna get them a Hatch because we don't want to have to worry about being like super quiet all the time and all around our house in order for our baby to sleep. And we love the idea that if we have company over, we can just turn their sound machine way up and they're not going to hear people talking and laughing. And also, if our kids' rooms are separated by a bathroom, But if Jude is crying, I don't want Ezra to wake up. If Ezra is crying, I don't want Jude to wake up. And so having the hatch that has that huge, incredibly loud noise prevents them from waking up from each other or waking up from Jake and I. The last few things are kind of like our random essentials. Ever, you're gonna need some kind of burp cloth. So my two favorite are the Aiden and I ones. Also pretty expensive, just like the blankets, but the different layers of muslin are so absorbent that I find this is really great when like baby's having a little bit more of like a spit uppy day. It just absorbs everything, and it, you know, really has nice coverage. Pretty much if like you need your baby to make it on something and you don't want it to go on your sleeve, this is the burp cloth that I would recommend. For out and about though, the Aiden and I ones are a little bit big, so I really like the Burt's Bees burp cloths. We got these in a pack of 5. It definitely is not as absorbent, but it still looks a little bit nicer than the cloth diapers that at times we will use. And it folds up, again, like super small. It can fit into the diaper bag and you just don't have to worry about it taking up a lot of space. One essential for Jude that definitely was not an essential for Ezra is Soothies, Avent Soothies. Ezra refused to take a binky, but Jude is all about it. So we have probably 20 of these all around the house in different bags, in different vehicles. I never want to go anywhere without these, because if he's getting a little bit fussy or a little bit tired, if he's overstimulated, if he's a little bit hungry, these save my bacon. And I'm so thankful he likes them. And last but certainly not least, the final essential that I would say is a baby bath of some sort. We have used this baby bath from Target with Ezra and now Jude. It was $10 and we got it at our baby shower and it's worked awesome. Jude loves it, Ezra loved it, and it's very efficient. We put it in our big bath. I'm not one who likes to bathe our kids in the sink anyways, and so I don't mind leaning over the bathtub to bathe Jude, and I've just found it to be very useful and definitely worth the money. So you guys, that is it. Those are all of my essentials for all these different categories. There are a few more things that I would consider as like niceties that have made my life easier, but I am going to be filming a big baby buys video here in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I hope this was helpful. I hope I gave you guys some good product suggestions that really kind of spoke to where you guys are at, and if you're looking for recommendations in any of these categories, I hope you found it helpful. If you did find it helpful, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I am a channel all about makeup and motherhood, and I would love to have you as part of this little corner of the internet. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!